All right, so, okay, who doesn't love a little bit of drama, right? Especially when it involves a big old divorce and some serious cash.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we are diving into a case, the asterisk Frick v. Frick asterisk case.
Okay.
This was in Ontario Superior Court. And get this, we're talking 20-year marriage, 2 kids.
Wow.
And Bruce, the husband, is bringing home about $300,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
So to help us unpack all of this, we've got our legal expert here. Welcome to the deep dive.
It's great to be here. And, this is a really great case because it really shows us that, things aren't always so black and white in the eyes of the law.
So set the stage for us. What was the deal with this couple?
So Tammy and Bruce, they seem to have it all, right? Like successful careers, nice lifestyle. But like we see so often, things aren't always as they appear. After Tammy filed for divorce, she found out that Bruce had been having an affair for 10 years.
Oh, no. A whole decade.
A decade. I know. And so naturally, she wants more from this divorce now.
Yeah.
She's saying that all the money he spent on this other woman should mean she gets more. She's claiming reckless depletion of their money.
Okay, so she's saying he spent our money on someone else. That's not cool. But is that really going to hold up in court?
Well, that's the question, isn't it?
Yeah.
So she's using Section 5 of the Family Law Act in Ontario, and basically it's saying that if things are super unfair when it comes to the money, then maybe an even split isn't what should happen.
Unconscionable, right? That's the word. What does that even mean? It's very legal sounding.
Yeah, you don't hear that word every day. So it has to be something that is just so shocking, so beyond the pale, that it would, shock the conscience of the court.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoa, we got to do something about this. This is just wrong.
Okay.
So we really need to dig into this whole reckless depletion thing to really understand why this matters.
All right, let's break that down. Reckless depletion. What are we talking about here? What's the legal definition of that?
Well, it's interesting because they actually looked at 3 different dictionary definitions in this case.
Oh, wow. Really?
They wanted to be very precise with the wording, right?
Sure.
But basically, we're talking about one spouse going out and spending a ton of money without the other spouse knowing, without their consent, and doing it in a way that really hurts their shared finances.
So it's not just like, oh, you bought an extra coffee. We're talking about big, big spending here.
Big spending that changes what's considered the net family property. And that basically means the value of everything they own together as a couple, minus any debts, and not including anything they owned before they were married.
So if Bruce had a vintage action figure collection before he met Tammy, that doesn't count.
Exactly. That would not be part of the net family property. It's about what they built during the marriage.
Gotcha.
So the big point here with this case is the judge is saying that reckless depletion is all about actual financial harm. It's not about using money to punish someone for bad behavior.
Even if that bad behavior was a 10-year affair. That's a long time. So did Tammy end up proving that Bruce was recklessly depleting their money? I kind of want to know what happens now. So Tammy's saying all this, right? About how unfair this whole thing was, about the affair, about how he was spending their money. Did the judge buy it?
See, that's where things get complicated. The judge is basically like, look, I get it, this is rough. But he also makes it clear that this case isn't about punishing Bruce for having an affair.
Right.
It's about whether his spending actually lines up with this reckless depletion idea and if it really did some damage financially.
Okay, so it's not enough to just say it. She's got to prove he was actually reckless with their money.
Yeah.
What did she show the court?
That's the thing. She didn't really give any hard numbers. She never said exactly how much Bruce supposedly spent on this affair. And she didn't really show how that spending actually put them in a bad spot financially.
So even though this affair went on for 10 years, if she can't show how it would hurt them financially, the judge isn't going to care.
Pretty much, yeah. It's almost like she thought the court would just automatically side with her because, affairs are messy.
Yeah.
But the law needs to see the cold, hard facts, you know what I mean?
It makes you wonder, what if she had, hired a private investigator or something back then? Would that have changed things?
Oh, no, that's interesting. If she had bank statements showing Bruce was, emptying their accounts to fund this other, fancy dinners, trips, whatever, or if she could prove he was showering this other person with expensive gifts, that could have been big for her case.
So it's not just about what really happened. It's about what you can actually prove happened.
100%. And that's why keeping good records is so important, right?
Yeah.
This isn't just about affairs either. Whenever you're dealing with money in a divorce, you really need to be on top of things. Know what you have, know what you owe.
That makes a lot of sense. But I got to say, I'm a little surprised the judge didn't side with Tammy just based on principle. A 10-year affair, that's a long time.
I get where you're coming from, but here's the thing. In Ontario, the Family Law Act, they actually try to avoid bringing stuff like infidelity into these money decisions.
Really?
Yeah.
So even if Bruce was like, you know what, I used our savings to buy my mistress a car, that wouldn't matter.
It's not that simple. The law tries not to punish bad behavior, but it also wants things to be fair when it comes to dividing up assets. So if someone starts graining the joint accounts, whatever they're spending it on, that could still be seen as reckless depletion.
Okay, so the reason behind the spending doesn't matter as much as what was spent and how much, right?
Exactly. And that's why having that solid evidence is so important. Tammy really needed to show that what Bruce was doing was causing serious damage to their finances together. Just feeling like she got a raw deal, unfortunately, wasn't enough here.
So how did the judge use those other cases you mentioned before? The Astris Abaza asterisk case and the Astris Cosentino asterisk case? Did they back up his decision in Tammy and Bruce's case?
They did. Remember how we talked about how important precedents are in legal cases?
Yeah, it's like a rule book, right? Past decisions kind of tell judges how to handle similar situations later on.
Right. So remember the Abaza asterisk case. The husband's spending in that one was like clearly hurting his family. He had racked up tons of debt. And the court could see that if he hadn't been spending so much on other things, he could have paid that debt off.
So asterisk Abaza asterisk shows that the spending needs to have a real, measurable impact on the family's money, not just be something that seems, morally wrong.
Bingo. Now think about asterisk Cosentino asterisk Obasker, right? That one was similar to Tammy's. The wife claimed her husband was using their money for an affair. She lost, just like Tammy. She couldn't show that what he was doing had caused real financial harm to their shared assets.
So we've got these two cases, right? Asterisk Abaza asterisk A, where the spending was just out of control, and asterisk Cosentino asterisk A, which sounds a lot like Tammy's situation. Big accusations, but not enough proof. Did the judge in asterisk frick asterisk just look at all this and go, yeah, this is more like asterisk Cosentino asterisk 8. Sorry, Tammy.
It seems that way, yeah. Those earlier cases really set the stage for how the judge saw Tammy's claims. She couldn't draw that line between what Bruce did and how it really hurt them financially, so her argument didn't really stick.
So even if, we all think Bruce probably was being kind of shady with the money, maybe even trying to squirrel some away because of this whole affair thing,
Yeah.
Without something concrete, the court can't just assume.
Right. They have to go by the book. The law needs proof, not just guesses or hunches. It doesn't matter how right you might feel.
This whole thing really makes you think about being organized,
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to money, right?
Big time. Always know what's going on with your finances. Know what you share, what you owe. If you're ever in a situation like Tammy's, you'll be glad you did.
So what happened in the end? Did Tammy get more money because of all of this?
She didn't know. She wanted to change the divorce agreement because of the reckless depletion thing, but the judge said no. He said her claims made sense emotionally, but there wasn't enough there to justify changing how they split everything up.
So basically, Tammy got caught between what felt wrong and what she could actually prove in court.
Exactly. And that's tough, right? You want things to be fair, but the law has its own way of doing things.
This has been fascinating. From affairs to legal dictionaries to these crazy what-if scenarios. Really makes you think. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
Of course, it's always a pleasure to be here. This case really shows how personal feelings and the law can clash. It's never simple.
And to everyone listening, remember, asterisk frick v frick asterisk taught us something really important. Knowledge is power. Understand what you're entitled to. Be able to prove what you're saying with hard evidence. That's huge, especially when it comes to matters of the heart and the wallet, right? Until next time, stay curious, folks, and we'll catch you on our next deep dive.